There's power in a drum beat on a hill above the sea. Power in the voice of a supporter. But it all amounts to nothing. Together we don't sing. There's power when we're North Boise. And it's bang go forever. Old town scenery. Valley and mountain chaparral to the sea. And the colors of our rainbow, sunset orange, Tory green. There's power when we're North Boise. ST loyal forever. Someday North County. Desert to islands. Get loud now, you and me. All our voices strong together as we cheer on our team. There is power when we're North Boise.
Welcome, everybody. It is me, your host, for episode 29 of 2022 season of the Loyal Locals podcast. I am your host, the Locals J, Jason R., and I'd like to welcome you all after what's been sort of a busy week. So I'm excited to talk tonight, and I'm here with some of the Loyalist locals that we've got. So welcome to Loyal Local 13, Paul Naku and Tay. How's it going, everybody?
Great. Well, I'm in a hotel, so it could be better, but it's got cool, spooky vibes back here for Halloween. Maybe later I'll turn off all the lights and make it spookier.
So Taylor is on assignment in New Mexico. Paul, what are we up to tonight?
My son's about to go to sleep. I got out of bedtime duty to do this, so make it worth it. Just kidding.
Nice. Me too. I got yeah. I hear book time happening in the ear that doesn't have the AirPod in it. So yeah, I think we're in the same area. Hopefully that goes calmly and we don't hear any screaming. But welcome everyone who's with us live and seeing this, and everyone who's listening later. We appreciate you all coming out, giving us some time. We'll try and keep it brief for you. But there was kind of a lot going on. I mean, over this last week, we clinched a playoffs second seed in the playoffs. So that was a big deal. You guys have your playoff tickets yet? Have they showed up in your? Have you checked your?
Playoff tickets are there, and I've been asking around. I've got a few extra people coming with me this Sunday for the last game, and I'll probably be bringing a bunch of extra people for the playoffs. So stoked.
Yeah, I got my tickets, and then trying to sell this promotion for the Filipino American Heritage Month. So hopefully, we'll be bringing 100 people to the game. So it's one of the few tickets that are still available. I know it's sold out, but we still have those promo tickets still available. So
there you go. So if you are looking for tickets, Paul and the Filipino American Heritage Day is your way to get tickets. And then it comes with a scarf. Is that right?
yeah, I have it. Real quick.
Let's go. We're going to get to this, but I want to jump right in while we're talking about it.
Yeah.
So they announced Loyal announced a sellout, but it is, again, Filipino American Heritage Day. Recognition Day? I don't know. There's a lot of words.
Filipino American Heritage Night. So
Filipino Heritage Night.
Cool scarf.
So you've got the cool scarf, which I loved. You may have seen Willie Santos showing that off as well. He's got that logo on his board. And so if you need tickets, that's the way to get it. It comes with a scarf. And I know that you personally put a lot of work into that. And your brother, right, is also creative on that?
Yeah, he's a graphic design teacher at Westview. He's also an artist, graduated from Cal Arts, so he's the one that designed it. So it was cool to bring him into the fold. So he designed a really nice scarf.
We loved it. We're always looking to bring people into the fold, into the locals, into the Loyal family.
Yeah.
And that's a great way to do it. So I'm thankful for that. So we'll get to that a little bit later on. We'll dive deeper into that. Speaking of bringing folks into the fold, we had somebody jump on Discord, new Alex the Sir. So thank you, Alex, whoever that may be, jumping into the Discord and getting to argue about stadiums and just various things about stadiums this week. There's a lot of stadium talk between our normal one and the Wave and Orange County completely screwing up where they put us in their stadium. A lot of stadium talk this week. So thanks for jumping in there, Alex the Sir. If you're not in our Discord yet, get in there so you can yell with us. Or it is, I kind of joke about that, but it is a good place for information. It's the first place that we broadcast things to everyone. There's things that go in there that don't necessarily make the emails because, Loyal only has a certain number of tickets, or they don't want it. If they tell us, hey, tell this to your people, but don't tell the public, it goes into the Discord. And so that's how we, fill the supporters bus first with our people, things like that. So get in the Discord. We talk about it all the time. So quick, I just wanted to go over the overview today. We'll do our quick weekly recap again. It was a great week, a lot going on. Got some shout outs. We have some new items. Our player of the year voting is live. I don't know if you saw that yet in your email. So check your email for that if you are a Locals member. The merch, we had the new kit drop and be handed out to just about everyone that was local, and then in the mail for those who couldn't make it to any events this week. So you should have your kit by now. Remember to drop your questions in the chat so we can talk about it later, and stay tuned for the Locals Only Lounge after. So let's jump in. Kind of a lot happened this last week. I don't know if we have a rundown for it, but Naku, what did you take away from this last week of? Really, it was soccer in San Diego, right? If I'm thinking back, I had Thursday, we went to state. Then I saw you at Wave on Friday. And then we're at OC on Saturday. So what did you take away this last week?
Just a lot of soccer, like you said. It was cool to see CJ Faudree at the state game in the new stadium. And man, those seats are really nice. We've gotten the club level seats basically. So you have like a clubhouse behind the seats, which is nice because I brought my son. It was a good place to kind of like get away for a little bit. There's couches and there's private bar and like a kitchen, all that stuff. So that was pretty cool. And it's like, if we do move there, it's very tempting to be at those seats.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I might need to take that's kind of the way it goes with whether I bring my kid or don't bring my kid or kids to a game. It's going to be depend on where I'm going to sit. And I think that for kids games that even going, looking forward to Wave or whatever, those are very nice, brand new club. So Tay, you were there, yeah?
I was at the Wave game. Yeah, I was bummed I didn't go to the state game. Looked like that was a lot of fun. It sounded like you guys were having fun heckling the opposing coach, which that's always fun.
I don't know that the Locals technically can take credit for that.
Maybe not, but
I think that may have been a separate SG that we're not responsible for anything that may have happened between the Washington coach and.
Either way, it sounded like it was a good time. I saw it; the section was full. I decided to pass on that one. Ashley was home sick all week, and luckily I didn't catch anything. But I felt like 3 nights of deserting her to go watch soccer was a little unfair.
So
I don't think my body could have handled it either. So
yeah, so it's just 2.
So I did too.
But so I was with you guys at everything. We decided kind of last minute to do that CJ Faudree support night. I know he felt the love. His family feels it. They always they came out and sat with us, and they never stopped talking about how grateful they are for how we support him. So he's one that we hope is on a 4-year yo-yo, that we let him out, and then he comes back in 4 years and is our starting forward. So we're certainly going to keep that relationship alive. But it was great. It was kind of we got to tailgate again, which when we tailgated the Padres, it was like, oh, this would be cool if we could do this every week as a SG. It'd be really cool. So that was cool to see again. And then since we had leftovers, we tailgated again before the OC bus trip, which Taylor, should we jump right into the OC bus trip real quick, or
we could do a quick little.
So we got. Let's see. Let me see if there's anything that I really want to make sure.
Yeah.
We get to. We lock down the second seed. We do that in OC, so we can talk about that. So let's see. Since our last Well, so yeah, Wednesday was USL news, and which affects the Loyal, which was Sacramento last week beat Phoenix,
Yeah.
and or lost to Phoenix. Sorry, lost to Phoenix. So that meant that we only needed a point in Orange County to secure second place. Then we went to the SDSU match. Thought it was awesome. It was great. If we went to the Wave, you kind of see the different the different fan bases there and how that looked. So the Wave had that bottom bowl fully sold out, and then San Diego State had less than that. But you could see how, I don't know. I thought the Noise banged around in there pretty good. So if we were ever called upon, I think that we would be able to make that place loud. There was last week. There was also the September season ticket member meeting with Ricardo. Let's see. Anything stood out from there? Was anyone on that call? Anything that we need to go over on that? I wasn't either. I think I knew everything that pretty much went on there. There were a couple of surprising things. It's in the Discord. We talked about it in the Discord. Go find it. Espen was nice enough to give us a really good rundown.
Yeah, he gave
on everything that was discussed. So.
Coverage.
Yeah, so I think there was some stuff there. So, and then there was a bus trip to Orange County on Saturday. So Taylor, tell me how that looked from the. We're both kind of on the inside, but I'm a little more inside, having planned it and done it and all. So how was it as a?
Oh man, it was great. I wasn't the person in charge of the bus for this trip, so I got to be backseat bandit the whole time. We did something different this time. I liked it. Is because we were leaving from Stone and we were on the team buses, we set up the little kind of tailgate barbecue and hung around, drank some beers, did a little bit of shit shooting, and I enjoyed that. That was nice. A little afternoon hangout. Erica and brought, I guess, works HR for a bunch of the breweries and brought like a great supply of Society and Second Chance beers. And she even went as far as to organize them by hoppy beers in one cooler and like lagery light beers in the other cooler. Like she was prepared.
She was very prepared. Erica gets shout out of the week for sure.
Big shout outs of the week.
Got it on Discord, but it needs to be out into the public as well. Thank you so much. And that was, again, Society and Secondhand. So, Second Chance. So those two breweries didn't have to give her, a couple dozen beers, but they did, and we drank them all. So
a friendly reminder too that Second Chance in both in RB and in North Park, if you show your scarf chain, you get discounted beers. And now my friend Stephanie works there too, and she knows very well about the rules. So it's a good place to go.
Yeah.
And then, as always, the bus trip up, because we've, thanks to Adrian from Chavos, he's kind of dubbed it the Ska Derby, which I think is really fitting. The little SD versus OC ska fight.
Yeah.
And so the entire pregame and the entire bus ride up, it was all ska the whole time is what we're listening to. And I enjoyed it. That was a fun little set the mood.
I'll get you ready and I'll take you back.
Wasn't even terrible traffic. It could have been better, but it was pretty good getting up there. But the bus left a little later than our bus does. But it was okay because we pregame before. But so we were kind of off the bus and straight into the stadium, which is a little bit,
that was
discombobulating.
A little different. Usually we have made sure that we give ourselves plenty of time as locals when we plan our stuff out there. But the Loyal trust themselves to be right on time, and
they were
ready to go. So we were right on time. We walked in that kickoff. But yeah, so that was great. And then we got into the stadium, and big shout out to everyone who made it. I know that it was a little bit different. So Orange County had us kind of split in two sections. If you've been there before and didn't go this time, kind of the regular section that we'd been in before, section 1, and then the section facing that across the field is section 13. And they had a split between the two sections, which is something we'll talk about in the lounge a little bit later.
Yeah.
but it just made things a little more different, a little more hectic. And you can imagine if you had bought premium front row seats to watch your soccer team, and the locals showed up behind you, 3 rows deep, with Adrian on the drums and Dyer on the flag and Nick capoing. Maybe wasn't the most enjoyable Orange County Soccer
Their
Club
ticket
experience for
sales
those Orange
people-
County Soccer Club fans.
Their ticket sales people did them a disservice.
Yes.
And
So
then the fact that it sold out too, and so there are
Yeah.
people buying tickets in the GA sections.
yeah.
You just
So
kind of
we can talk about that later, but it was a little disjointed, but of course we came out on top. I'm the kind of person who they said, hey, go stand there and chant, and I just did that and let everyone else deal with their situation. As technically a loyal run operation and not a locals run operation,
right.
that is not my event, and I was just there to chant. So had a great night.
So Paul, you didn't make the bus. Did you watch the game on TV?
Yeah, I did. It was kind of weird because it was like our section probably would have been a lot bigger, but they did split, so you could only see the original section, so you didn't get to see the other fans across the way.
Yeah.
But you still could hear it pretty loud. It's pretty funny because they put like a field mic right next to someone playing the trumpet and the drum.
So that's actually even better. That's not even in their supporters end. I don't know if those guys volunteer.
Yeah, no, I think they're paid. They just play. They
Stick them in the corner opposite us, like same side of the net, same side of the field, other side of the net, and they're there every time, and it's pathetic. If I was their supporters, I would tell them to stop doing that.
They just drum. They don't chant. They don't lead. They're not cheerleaders, right? Like they're just doing this.
And there's
for 90 minutes for no reason other than to have a drum. All right, anyway, we'll talk more about this in the Loyal Lounge. We got to get going.
We got
plenty of stuff going on. We got K Burrows, O'Brien's, and Fair Play. We had people all over for watch parties this last week. So again, remember those are basically our partners, K Burrows and O'Brien's and Fair Play coming on. I haven't had like an official discussion with them, but in North Park, that's kind of the place to be for soccer. So they'll definitely have Loyal games on if you're at Fair Play. K Burrows and O'Brien's, they are locals approved partners. So let them know that you're there with the locals. And again, there are definitely discounts at K Burrows. We'll talk a little bit more as we have some events coming up. Also, last week we didn't talk about the soccer night or soccer week started off with Two Balls Takeover. So thanks to Tony and Shiva for taking over and helping us out during Drew's move last week. I think was kind of as that was happening. So
we had a busy week.
We had a lot going on, and Tony and Shiva kind of came in and did like a little slightly different, from the fans' perspective than their usual show. So thanks again for carrying the locals banner for us that day. Again, thanks to Erica and Society. Can't say it enough. Thank you for the beers, and remember that there are partners you can get discounts there. Some news: our very own Landon Donovan, I saw today, is going to be taking part in the play-by-play for the World Cup coming up. Unfortunately, looks like he's not going to get to do USA matches because that'll probably be their top team of. I can't remember their names right now. John something. I want to say John Cross, but it's not John Cross. Unless he's leaving us. But anyway, Ian Dark, who famously called Landon Donovan's 2010 goal, Go USA, and will be there with the legend himself. So we're looking forward to that. Congrats to Landon, even though that means I guess he's not going to come hang out with us to watch the World Cup. So that's a bummer. Okay, moving on to new news. Player of the Year. Player of the Year voting is open. We sent out ballots, which are Google Forms, to everyone's email that you have on file with the locals. So check that email. And you should see the voting, which starts now. It started in the Discord, and we can talk more about it in the lounge chat maybe. But it ends this Friday, so we're hoping to give out the award at the game this weekend while we're all there together and happy. And really, whatever happens in this game, we're locked in where we're locked in. There's some things where, depending on what points we get, we could jump a team or two in the East Coast for hosting the championship game if it ever came down to that. So that's about all that's on the line. For the most part, we're just going to party and be appreciated this weekend. So we'll be giving out our Player of the Year awards. So have you guys voted yet, or have you thought about it yet? You don't have to tell me who you vote for, but
I'm going to tell you right now, number one is Elijah Martin. I don't give a shit. That's number one. Everyone should vote for Elijah Martin. I will proselytize this. I will maybe get a banner that I just wave in people's faces. I mean, there's lots of good shout outs after that. Guido, Kyle Adams, Vassell, Charlie, but God, it's just Elijah. Just how could I not? I don't know. I'm going to stop now, but I'll go off.
Okay, that's fine. That's right. we don't want. You may name some other people, but I know I had to sit and think about it because this year was such a team effort all year. I felt like it. You love to be like, it was this guy or that guy. That even, whatever. I'm not going to say who it was or who it wasn't for whatever reasons, but every person I came across, I was like, oh yeah. Do I need to re-rank this because I had missed this guy's name at the bottom or whatever it was?
Yeah, what is it? Erica, I think, posted. She was like, I thought I had a good idea, and then I started looking up stats, and she realized shit, the whole team is just fired.
Yeah, the whole team and they're they all have about the same amount of goals, except maybe for Vassell, who's a little further out.
Right.
Toomey, if you forget about Toomey, I don't know if Toomey even, to be honest, made my list, and he's got however many goals and assists he had. Tale of two seasons sometimes where the defense was picking it up or the offense was pouring it on, or Guido was the MVP for the first half of the year, or Koke saved the game at the end on Saturday.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Save that point. So it's everybody's got a claim.
I can tell you right now, I'll keep saying my Elijah Martin thing forever. But the rankings after that are going to be tough. They're going to be tough.
And I think a lot of people do have their favorite too, and it might not even be related to exact, the highest stats or whatever. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of that. Colin Martin probably doesn't have any stats, and could very easily be their Player of the Year.
I will say, just
amazing.
Talking that, and we can get into the deets again later. But when Charlie and Colin left the field on Saturday, the game changed.
Yep,
big time.
Yeah.
So, there's guys like that, right? Where fine, you don't have the assist or the goal, but just the playmaking, that pass rate changes everything.
Yep. So, go ahead.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah, it's hard. And then for some of us, we might have connections that make it hard to see past anything else. For those of you who are listening later and not watching, Paul is wearing his Kyle Vassell signed Fiend face mask that became so iconic again at the beginning of the year. Was just so awesome and endeared us to him and him to us. So again, so much this year and so many great representatives of Loyal this year.
Yeah, definitely a lot of difference makers this year. Like Kyle Vassell, Koke, a lot of new players stepped up and really solidified this team. So it's going to be
absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Kyle Adams again. We were worried about losing Yarrow, and Kyle Adams just
really
stepped right in there and was awesome. So yeah. So thanks. This is more just us gushing over the whole team. So thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for a great year, guys.
And to those
the Player of the Year will be announced. The Player of the Year will be announced on Sunday. But if you're listening and it ends up not being you, we love you all. And thanks for everything. So we'll move on here to looking beyond Sunday. Beyond Filipino Heritage Night, we're looking ahead to Sunday, October 23rd, which is the next home game, which is a playoff game. You may remember that we earned a playoff game by way of being the second best team in the West. So if you don't know what that's like, those of you who are at the bottom of the table, that's fine. Someone told me on Saturday, that I shouldn't be celebrating because we didn't win, and I reminded him that just because you root for Orange County and don't know what the table looks like, 1 point was actually all we really needed on Saturday. So that
That's
was fun. That was fun to remind him that
you
there
can't.
is a
Man,
table.
yeah, that's crazy talk. Like when you
But
know what the
anyway.
result puts you in the season, like
Yeah.
you don't see those guys like celebrate in
Yeah.
fourth place because they just got Champions League. Like things matter past the result of
And a second game might matter. We gotta get past the first one though, and the first one is again Sunday, October 23rd at 7 p.m. at Torero. You should have your tickets in your Access app. If you don't, I guess you could sign out and call back, or sign out and sign back in. I guess that worked for some people to get their tickets in there. If you're not a season ticket member, call the club because there's no fees if you do it that way. So talk to Weston. We will play the 7th seed, which has yet to be determined, blah, blah, blah. We do have playoff round 2. All of that is to be determined. Times, dates, any of that, if we win. So we don't want to jinx that first round win. But if we were to move on, we have secured a second home playoff game. Merch, this is the big one. The other thing that happened this last Wednesday was the kit drop. The kits came in, the kits went out. They are wonderful. I don't want to gas you up too much there, Tay.
No, just feed
But
it
good
straight
job.
into the veins, man. They look even better in person. They've got that 90s shimmer to them. I got mine in a large, so it'd have a little bit more 90s bagginess to it. The best though was Andrews didn't. They accidentally sent him the wrong size, and it was a little bit too snug for him. So his son Miles wore it, and he was just swimming.
He was swimming.
Awesome.
Yeah, he looked like a mid-90s midfielder
Mhm.
for any of the teams at the World Cup. Yeah,
It was great. It looks just
so. Congrats, thank you so much, Taylor, for the work that you put in on those.
mad props also to. I had a little help from Drew and Steve, helped us do some final editing, and Eileen got those things out like so fast.
Yeah, everyone was like, I just heard these were in yesterday, and showed up on my doorstep today. So
Yeah,
again,
I mean,
thank
the
you.
guys
That's
that
what
were on Thursday and Saturday got them, in person, but the rest were out Monday. I think everyone got them basically, something like that. I mean, it's crazy. It's awesome.
Yep.
It's going to look fun in
thank you for
109, a
that.
little mix of locals, 1, locals 2, and the team jerseys, and we just look great in 109.
Yes, it did. And also looking great in 109 and also creating original art for sale from the Loyal is our host number 2, Loyal Local 13. There it is.
So good.
So not to take us through how this happens. They just see your fiend stuff and they're like, we need you to do something for us. Is that how this works?
Kind of. I think they wanted to experiment with some things, and one of the merch people was like, let's try painting on jackets. I was like, I've never painted on jackets or denim. I was like, but we could try, I guess. So I think they just want to try something different. Also, they wanted to kind of workshop it because they want to see if they could do stuff like that in person. Like if you bring your own kind of merch, that they could do that in-house at the shop. So that'd be pretty cool because they had a bunch of heat transfer stuff that I didn't have access to before. So I was like, oh, I could use that, or I could use the old patches or whatever. So that was pretty cool. So I think, yeah, that was a cool opportunity. And then they said maybe if we make a few, we could do like a little fundraiser. And I thought maybe we could do that for Bridge Barcata to help them, buy some equipment because their equipment's getting kind of old and used. So I thought that'd be a cool way to help fundraise a little bit. So I thought that was pretty cool that the club reached out to me and be like, hey, you want to try to do something? So yeah, it was fun.
Well, you are well known within the community. Everybody wants a PCU. So
yeah, so I don't know when those are. I don't know when they're gonna drop, but probably maybe at the season ticket member picnic or whatever event at the end of the year. But we'll see.
Okay, cool, great. Well, we appreciate it. We love seeing any of our locals get love from from the team. We do still have such a close relationship with them. It's really cool being part of a smaller team that's kind of reactive and can do things like that.
Yeah.
Not just lost and maybe for the Padres, they're not exactly working with the artists that are making the San Diego is the SHIT clothing. But San Diego Loyal will reach out to the Fiend himself and get some stuff going. So look out for that. I think we talked about Filipino Heritage Night. Anything else you wanted to add about that, my friend? Please have the floor.
No, I think it's just so awesome to see the club kind of back up with like what the chairman. Let me start over. So back in May, it was Asian American Pacific Islander month, right? I saw like teams across the league, especially I saw LAFC like have like one of their Filipino supporters group on the field with their flag and stuff like that, and like Japan and Malaysia and all that stuff. And then I was like, I don't really see that in San Diego. And we have like a huge AAPI community in San Diego, and I thought like it would be cool to see something like that. And like I straight up tweeted that, and then like within like minutes, like AV like said, let's make it happen. I was like, are you serious? So I was like, are you sure? Because I will get people to come if you take care of everything. And then Ricardo backed it up too. So the president responded to that tweet. It's just like, I don't know. I don't think that would happen in most clubs where just like they see someone kind of like wanting something in their club, and then for them to be like straight away like, let's try to change that. Let's make it happen. Let's not forget other people in San Diego. So I feel like that was really neat, and I just felt like I wanted to go on and if they would do it or not. So I followed up and they pulled through. We worked. Jacob, the ticketing person in charge of this, really put a lot of hard work to try to connect to the community. I pulled in most of my contacts to try to make this happen, and it was challenging, but I think those connections were made. And to me, that's the most important part, is that relationships have been built, and they have now connections with the House of the Philippines and all the different organizations in San Diego, and you'll see them more out in the community. I think that's most important. And we have this game, and this is like a crazy game to do because there's so much stuff happening. We have the fan appreciation night. It's the last game of the season, and it's gonna be a special night. So I'm really looking forward to it, and welcoming people that maybe not so much into soccer. This will be their first match. I think it's going to be a good match to go to. So I'm looking forward to it. And again, the tickets are on sale. It's $15. If you don't want the scarf, it's $25 if you do. And then after the match, everyone that bought a promo ticket gets a picture on the field. It's a group picture. And there'll be Samahan Dance Company will be performing pre-match. So you get some cultural elements to that too as well. And it'll be a good time.
And I think I saw you out. Was there an event at House of Philippines, or you just happened to be there? You just did some shooting out there?
Yeah, there's an event this past Saturday. It's kind of why I didn't go to. It's called Taste of the Philippines. And my mom was performing because she volunteers at the House of the Philippines, and she was performing. And then Jacob was tabling. So it was really cool to see people interact with seeing a soccer team, because a lot of people like, what is this? Which is crazy because you think like people would know like third year, but that's not really the case. You really got to outreach to the community, people that may not necessarily know or be fans of soccer. You got to kind of make them fans of soccer, and to show that you're supporting San Diego, because I think if they support your community, then they'll come out. So that was really cool to see. And yeah, that was on Saturday. And again, we're building connections to the community, and that's all I could really ask for.
Yeah, I just saw the couple of pictures you posted and a couple of random other things online, and I always love any cultural party, you know, an event and show off that they do at the those houses is awesome. I was there for another one where they do the one where it's everybody, so it's like you get to try a little bit of stuff. But
Yeah.
this takeover is awesome. I'm bummed I missed that one because I grew up in Daly City, so you know that was my connection to the Philippines, and like I missed that stuff. It's a good time.
Yeah.
Next year, we'll have the locals go set up a table.
We want to. So again, thanks for all the hard work that you've done for that. You know, it's certainly easier to do something with someone you're comfortable with, or with a group that you're comfortable with, when you're trying something new, right? So for those who hadn't heard of the soccer team or whatever, want to come out and have that crossover. Again, as supporters and those of us wanting to grow this thing however we can, we appreciate you bringing your culture to soccer, and soccer to your culture, and thank you for how you didn't have to do this. You know, you could have just said, hey, we should do that, and then when they said, yeah, let's do it, you could have, you know, found a way to kick it to next year, or to not put the work in.
It definitely has to go both ways. Like if you want your club to do something, you gotta help them too. You can't just expect them to like do everything. I think that's really important, to make those connections with the fans and the supporters, because they have connections all over San Diego. And I think as long as they keep their minds open to doing things like this, I think the longer, or the more sustainable this club will be, because it'll not just be a club. Like we've been always saying, this is a community club. So I feel like we need to dig those roots deeper, so this club can succeed. So I think, again, it does go both ways, but you really got to give those opportunities for the club to grow too.
I think that's what we want to. We'll say, we'll talk about more in the Loyal Locals Lounge, but just I would say that too, for people either who are part of the locals, maybe want to become a little bit more part, or have a little more to give. Like, hey, again, with us being volunteers, we'll definitely take whatever help we can get, right? And there's going to be more. We have a lot coming up in the off season. I want to talk a little bit about in the lounge, and same thing with Loyal. Like, they don't necessarily have the ability to jump into every community. They want to, you know, they've tried their big umbrella attempt at that, but they need the conduit too, right? Like if you can be that connection to your community, wherever that is, whether it's a specific school, you know, if you're involved in a school and you want to have them out there, or a ethnicity, or if it's an area of town, you know, and come out to Santee Days or whatever it is, like, jump in there. They will probably say yes, like they did for Paul, and make this super, and make something super awesome for you. So they want to do it. I just don't know that they've got the person power behind it right now. So be that person for them. So thank you, Paul. We look forward to seeing everything that goes down on Saturday, including, you were talking about there being a lot of new things. I guess the cat's out of the bag now, as far as they will be wearing new kits. And for is this the 8th kit? You know, you've got them all. Is this number 8? Number 8 for the year? Because they didn't have the 3 keeper kits, and the 4 other kits were not enough for this year. So they had one last one on the way out. So those will be available. I'll tell you, they're going to be available at the stadium first. So your first shot to get them is going to be when the gates open, and then they'll be available online after that. But they will be wearing the new kits. You will be able to purchase the new kits, and I'm very excited. They're announcing it tomorrow at 9:00. They're going to announce all this stuff. So,
Paul, you've seen it, haven't you?
we're a little early.
but I have not.
You have today?
I
Where
have not.
as of 9 o'clock tomorrow, I will have.
That's why I go to
Yeah,
the shop.
and we'll talk about it once they announce it at 9 o'clock tomorrow. So get in the Discord, everybody, because we're going to be buzzing about that tomorrow. Let's see. Locals on Tour Sacramento. Information for that is in your Discord. I don't know if it made it into the email or not, but if you want to go up to the last game of the year and see them hopefully take some revenge on Sacramento, or you just happen to be in Sacramento for business or whatever, you live there, check out the Discord. There's a link for $23 tickets so you can sit with us at Health Heart Park. Hotels for that one are on your own. They didn't have any deals or anything, but they do have $23 tickets to sit with the visiting SG.
I want to say I know of at least 4 or 5 people have already set up their travel and bought tickets, right?
I'm hoping we get to a dozen, but I think there's six plus that I know of.
Awesome.
At least, and then there's always quietly, and then the team will send some people too, and they usually end up hanging out with us as well. So it'll be a little.
I was back and forth on it, and I realized like we've got the position we need. I got to take a little break for myself. And not doing like I've done. I don't know, however many away trips this year.
Yeah, but if you can, and you're trying to get up there, you got family up there, and you just want to go say what's up to them before the holidays.
Everyone says
we do have tickets for
little stadium too.
We do have tickets for it. It looks nice from what I saw during the Open Cup play. So season ticket members will move on, moving kind of past the playoffs now, but did announce that there will be a season ticket member appreciation celebration the weekend of November 15th and 16th. That's all we've got so far, but I don't know if that was part of the STM call or we were told that. But
I will say that it's either the week of that, but that's not a weekend day. So I was checking the dates too. I think something must have gotten lost from the team on the way to us, but I do know it's somewhere around that week.
Okay.
Through that week.
So there will be some sort of season, and that is a loyal thing. So that will be through them, and we will be you're attending that as a season ticket member. So keep an eye out for information from them. That is not a locals event that we will be telling you about. We'll move on, try and get out of here quick and into the lounge. We've got key matchups Wednesday in the USL, Louisville versus Detroit. So as you may remember, that's a East Coast battle, and that will basically the only thing left to decide is who in the East is going to finish with more points than the Loyal. And again, if it came down to the championship game, would Loyal host the championship game if they have more points than the last winner or than the winner of the East after the playoffs, or would we have to go there? So games to pay attention to would be Louisville and Detroit. Memphis versus
lose.
We want what?
I think Louisville to lose, but
I think they're too far out. I think we want Detroit to lose.
They are 1 point out from us if they lost every other game. They've got one. We'd have to win them all.
So there's one, or you can pick your rooting interest. Maybe you just want to make sure that only Louisville, that there's only 2 ahead of us, or that there's just 1 ahead of us and they beat everybody else. However you want to do that. Memphis again, they're right in front of us. If they lost out, I believe we could catch them if we went out. And then you've got Colorado and El Paso, so that will be more about who we're going to see in the first round or what the seeding would be in our.
In another week or so, what we're going to get is a Discord link from Steve and an Excel spreadsheet that'll calculate every version.
It didn't work out so well last time, but this is the time of year that the nerds start crunching the numbers, and I'm one of them. I think I waited until there was 3 games left last year, so we're in that range.
So the nice part is we're not doing the crunch on if we make second place.
Right, we're in. We're safe for whatever.
We're done with that. That part's done.
Or you could do something like tomorrow, New Mexico versus Galaxy 2. You can tune in and root against LA Galaxy and make sure that they don't get into the playoffs in their last appearance in the USL. That's what I'm going to do.
That's what I mean.
I don't know if I'm supposed to be rooting for New Mexico or not, but I'm certainly not rooting for LA Galaxy. So, do whatever your heart leads you to do. but there are some important things happening on Wednesday that'll shake some things out. So keep an eye on that. Do we have any chat questions? I'm sorry, I let that get going. Or do we have any visitors? Were we on a visitor? Maybe not. Maybe in the lounge.
Maybe in the lounge.
Maybe in the lounge. Okay. Did anybody have YouTube questions or comments that we want to make sure we hit before we go? And Paul, have you gotten to know Willie Santos personally, or did you know him personally before?
Yeah, I met him. I was in skateboarding back in the day. So when I was like 16, he was really huge. He had that's when his, I think, Willie Santos 2 shoes came out from Vans, and my mom met him at a Filipino fair or something, and she's like, "Oh, my son skateboards," and he's like, "Yeah, we could." I don't know how this happened, but he ended up taking me and 2 friends out skateboarding. It was like the craziest thing ever because I was not the best skateboarder, but he just took us around like different spots in San Diego, and like we got to know his family, and his brothers went to Mount Carmel, so we knew his brothers as well. So that helped, and the reason we have that connection with soccer is because we put together a indoor soccer team at North County Soccer Park, and
Okay.
a group of his friends and our friends played soccer together. He was part of our soccer team, which was crazy.
Well,
We weren't the best, but we had the best fans. we may have lost by a lot, but it was just so much fun to play. And when we got a team, he was one of the first people like I reached out to, like, you gotta get in this. Gotta be
Yeah.
part of it. And so like I connected him with Ricardo and the loyal staff and all that stuff, and been a great partnership. And that's why you see him in 109 sometimes whenever
Yep.
whenever he comes out, like every time he goes in that section, we score.
Yeah, he comes
Can't
through
leave one
usually
guy
pretty
outside.
late, and it seems like our late winners have come with him there
Yeah, seriously.
for sure. So that's really cool. So yeah, great, and you know these again connections that we have. So thanks for bringing him by. It's cool to see him. You know, I watch his videos, you know, follow him or whatever, and it's just as you know Willie Santos videos, and then he skates over, pops up his skateboard, and goes, "Hey, come out and see the Loyal this week for Filipino Heritage Night." I'm like, "Oh, well, you know." So, yeah. So
I'll have to ask you more later, Paul. But like,
appreciate that.
I know some guys that used to hang out at Willie's workshop too, so we'll talk about it in the lounge.
We'll talk about it in the lounge. Let's go to the lounge now. I've got 8:49 by my count, so let's call
That's
9
good.
o'clock for the lounge.
I'm gonna run down to the
Unless
lobby and
anyone-
grab a beer.
Sounds good. I will see you guys in 10 minutes. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.